Shores regular meeting this Wednesday, August 9th, 2017 at 6 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mary, call the roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Here.
Commissioner Neal?
Here.
Vice Mayor Capper?
Here.
Mayor Adams?
Here.
Attorney Denhart?
Here.
Attorney Rubinstein?
All right, first order of business, approval of the regular meeting, minutes for the regular meeting, July the 12th, 2017.
Motion to approve the minutes for July the 12th, 2017.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, Mary, call the roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Neal?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Capper?
Yes.
Mayor Adams?
Yes. Next, a ratification of bills for July and August 2017.
Make a motion to approve the bills for July and August of 2017.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, Mary, call the roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Neal?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Capper?
Yes.
Mayor Adams?
Yes. On the commission reports, now I'll start the reports. I received an email from ex-commissioner, and I told him that I would read this tonight, and it involves things going on in town. And it says, "Dear Mayor Adams, being unable to attend tonight's meeting, I would appreciate it as a resident of Regnant Shores District 4 if you would read the following message. I suggest to the Board of Commissioners that they establish a temporary moratorium to prohibit any building permits be issued for the purpose of building a structure on the top of the roof of existing residential properties. It seems that over the years, our building department has issued permits as not being specifically prohibited, so it must be okay. And instead, they should be applying the meaning, if it is not clearly permitted, it is denied, and the applicant can appeal for variance. No thought has been given to the compliance of any FEMA standards and requirements to be careful of placing more property in harm's way and to make the community less vulnerable to storm damage. The cost of these improvements is probably subtracted from the substantial improvement funds amount when computing the available amount to under the 50% rule. A problem came to my attention when riding around my district area and spotted a structure on the roof of a house on the corner of 180th and 182nd. And it's from ex-Commissioner Lee Holmes, and he would say he'd be available to assist on the committee if desired. So I would like, I think, just take that to a workshop, Mary,
Okay.
on our next workshop. The other thing that's come to my attention, and I am the finance commissioner, and it came to my attention that, and that one of the members of the committee has not been residing in town. So at this time, I must remove him from the board. I would like to thank Steve for your service and as a committee member. And I'll make that motion, and I'll need a second.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, Mary, call the roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Neal?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Capper?
Yes.
Mayor Adams?
Yes. The last thing on the good stand, the undergrounding is moving ahead. We have quite a few spots in town for Duke where they're going to have to put some transformers and stuff like that when you move it off the pole down to the ground. And we'll be starting that pretty shortly. I just talked to David Green, who is the engineer, not with Duke, but who heads up with CPWG, who is doing our contracting for doing the undergrounding. And David has looked at what Duke has done. He's made some corrections, so these things will have to be, if everybody would like to see the undergrounding start and get done in Remington Shores. As I've talked before, we're going to do the east side first, because that's the side that we can afford to do. And maybe in a couple, 3 years, we'll be able, if tennis for Pinellas and things like that go, that we'll be able to do the west side. We, at the Big C, are asking for 37 million as it was for this one, divided up among the towns along the beaches to do the undergrounding and beautification of Gulf Boulevard. So we're asking for another 37 million through the Big C. And so keep in mind too, penance for Pinellas is very important to us. So to keep things moving, so keep that in mind when you cast your vote. With that, that's all I have. Vice Mayor Kepper.
Okay, I got two building permits, one for June. Total was 83 permits issued, amount $14,228.39. No new single-family homes. July 2017, total permits 54, amount $8,945.14, with no single-family homes. Our income's dropped because we haven't had any single-family homes and need somebody to get started over there in the yacht club again. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Neal.
We got the results back last week for the traffic counters that we had on 182nd, Wall Street, 176 Terrace, 176th Avenue, and Long Point. And they're not good. I have to say that for a community of people who don't want any speed tables, Shore is doing a lot of speeding. They got a funny way of showing it. 76% of the people on 182nd Avenue were driving over the speed limit. 55% on Wall Street, 75% on 176th Terrace, 91% on 176th Avenue, and 44% on Long Point. So we're definitely going to be looking at something here when Commissioner Drum gets back in town. We'll go over with him for 182nd, and then we'll figure out what we'll do on the rest of the streets. We'll have a meeting with the police chief, and we'll see if we can lighten some people's pocketbooks a little bit. Maybe that'll help some. But I have more of a breakdown. If anybody would like to see it, we can make a copy and give it to you. The paper, the report that we got back was virtually a book. It took me about an hour and a half to read it to break it down to this much. So a little chart. I'll leave that one go. We're still working on the underground on the sanitary. It's we're making progress. We dug a hole over here in front of the mayor's house and had a couple more pipes. As soon as we get that squared away, we can line that particular line. We have another storm sewer on Sterling that's coming apart, and we have a price to line it of $18,000 from our company that's doing our lining now, which we can save $3,500 of that if we catch it when they come back to do the lines over here. So that's the $3,500 that we can knock off of that $18,000. That's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Neal. Commissioner Henderson.
Well, I'm happy to say that we have a library director at the Gulf Beaches Library. He started on Monday, so please stop in and say hi to him if you have an extra minute or two. He comes with a lot of experience, and I think he's going to be an awesome asset to the library. Parks and Rec is going to start getting ready to start planning for another great picnic, which is October 14th, correct, Mary?
Correct.
So mark your calendar so you won't miss it, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Henderson. Commissioner Drum is not here tonight. He's out of town due to his work, so hopefully he'll get back soon. At this time, I'd like to open public hearing for resolution 07-17, approve proposed sewer increase. Commissioner Neal.
You want me to make a motion to approve the
One of
4%
them, I
increase?
mean, we got,
Okay, we have,
First of all, I would need to read it by title, but I know you have two before you, one with different percentages, so need to know which one you wish.
I think we agreed on going with the 4% increase the first year and a 3% second year and 3% the third year.
You can read that, and you can have a motion, and if there's any discussion, fine. And, let's see, resolution number 07-17, a resolution of the Town Commission of the Town of Reading, Shores, Florida, pertaining to sewer rates, increasing and amending the sewer rates established as section 124-7A in the Code of Ordinances of the Town of Reading, Shores, Florida, establishing an effective date. And let me say that there's a paragraph 1 that on the official copies, I don't think it's on the copy that's in your book, but paragraph 1 of that resolution would say the rates for sewer services as established by Reading Shores Code, section 124-7A are hereby amended as follows. And then everything else is as you have in your packet.
do I need a motion?
Resolution 717, 4% increase.
I need a motion on that one he just read.
All right, I'll make a motion, we approve. What's that, 717?
Motion, I need a second. All right, I can remove myself.
Which one, did I approve the 10% or the 4%?
The one-
4%.
The one I read
Is the
was
motion.
Resolution
Okay.
07, they're both Resolution 07-17, but it would be the 4% increase. I believe is the one you indicated, so that's the one that is under discussion. If there's a motion to approve that, fine, and then need to see if it gets a second.
I can remove myself and have contact the city clerk. So that, if I need a question, I can.
I think you can second it if you wish.
I
Was that
second
just-
that motion.
I'm sorry. I didn't know if it was gonna go just tabled until the next meeting if we didn't get a second.
I'd be going ahead and second it now.
Oh, you were?
Yep. Motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, Mary, call the roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
No.
Commissioner Neal?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Capper?
No.
Mayor Adams?
Yes,
So that motion fails.
and I just hope you all have looked into this deeply, and if you know what's going on down St. Pete and all that.
I just think there's other avenues that we can take to take care of this. You got this 4%, you're talking $25, $26, and there's a lot of families in this neighborhood, in this town, are on fixed incomes, and that's going to be quite a hit. And I like the idea of we talked about maybe metering on usage and charge on that way, that's what I like to see happen.
I agree with doing usage. We can't just jump in and approve a usage change because that's going to mess up all the people in the towers and then all the condos.
Yeah.
Because they have no way to know how much water that they're using in each unit. So
Well,
how do they do
well, you
their
can't do
business?
it, you can't do it on there, but I'm very familiar with condos. They just do it, the association takes care of it, they pay usage, whatever that is.
Everybody
If they-
else in Florida does it that way.
Right,
We're
if they want to
odd.
cut down on flow, they have to go around and talk to their own people to cut the flow down.
Well, it's the residents that's not here for 6 months out of the year
Well, that's-
paying a higher rate than the people that, I'm just looking out for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand what you're going
What
with.
Jeff is saying, you have to set a base rate,
Right.
period. I mean, and
Well, we have a
people-
base rate.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying, we're talking now, if we change the way that people are built, the base rate has to be set, and if you've looked around, like I think Commissioner Neal has and I have, most of the places are higher than us anyway, nearly everybody in their sewer rates. So, I just worry about the sewers, and I know they're built in 1955. I know what's going on down in St. Petersburg. And I know if we get a spill, everybody says, oh, you got $1 million or $2 million, that's gone right now. I
Very
can
quick,
tell you
very
that.
quickly,
Yeah,
very
I
quickly.
can tell you.
Well, we
that.
should have been taking care of this long before now. That's the whole thing.
Well, that's past tense now.
Well,
I know,
Right then,
but
we'll be
why, so we're
now.
gonna penalize everybody for something the town didn't
Well,
do or we didn't do?
And the other thing is you got
It
to,
would be this price now. It would be more than this if we started doing, when it was passed
4 or
through.
5 other municipalities paying more than we are right now.
Anyway,
what about penny for Pinellas? Can that be used to fix our sewers?
Yes.
and the infrastructure, yes. Sure.
Okay. That's why I say, I think we need to look into it and get a little deeper into it before we just say it's gonna cost everybody $26 plus whatever, how
Well,
many
That's
toilets.
$6 a year, $2 a month.
Yeah, $2 a
That-
month. I mean, actually,
This says monthly rates,
on a single family, it's,
$26 a month.
No, on a single family,
not a month.
Well, it says following monthly rates. So it says right on the thing.
yeah, monthly, 24.92 it is right now. It would go to 25.91, which is a 99-cent difference a month. Billed bi-monthly is $2.
Okay, we'll go on. And second reading of ordinance 17-02, amending section 54-3, allowing alcoholic sales at 8 a.m. on Sundays. Attorney Denhoff.
Ordinance number 17-02, an ordinance of the town of Reading Shores, Florida, amending section 54-3 of the Code of the Town of Reading Shores, Florida, pertaining to closing hours for business establishments serving and/or selling alcoholic beverages, intoxicating beverages, or intoxicating liquor. Amending the closing hours for such business establishments, providing for inclusion of such amended ordinance in the Code of the Town of Reading Shores, Florida, providing an effective date.
Motion to approve ordinance number 1702.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, Mary, call the roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Neal?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Capper?
Yes.
Mayor Adams?
Yes. Next, second reading of ordinance 1703.
Ordinance number 17-03, an ordinance of the Town Commission of the Town of Reading Shores, Florida, imposing an abatement upon the acceptance and/or processing of applications for co-location on existing or creation of new utility poles in the right-of-way to support small wireless facilities or micro wireless facilities for a period of 180 days, repealing all ordinances and parts of ordinances in conflict therewith, providing for severability, providing an effective date.
Motion to approve 1703.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, Mary, call the roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Neal?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Capper?
Yes.
Mayor Adams?
Yes. Next is first reading ordinance 17-04. Attorney Denhoff.
I'm looking for it.
Yeah, I am too.
Ordinance number 17-04, an ordinance of the Town Commission of the Town of Reading Shores, Florida, amending the Town of Reading Shores Comprehensive Plan pursuant to the evaluation and appraisal process of Section 163.3191 Florida statutes and the amendment process of Section 163.3184 Florida statutes, adopting new goals, objectives, and policies and maps as presented herein below, providing for severability and providing for an effective date.
Motion to approve ordinance 1704.
Oh, second.
Motion and a second, any discussion?
I think part of that motion has to say that you will also transmit it to the Department of, who is that, Steve?
That's correct,
The Linda had Fisher.
Oh, yeah,
and the
yeah, yeah.
fish-
Economic,
yeah, this ordinance is a little
Opportunity.
bit different. You pass it on
EO.
first reading, and then it gets transmitted up to the state.
DEO,
DEO.
Yeah.
yeah, Department of Economic.
And then they
Right.
review it, they make sure everything's all right, or they come back with comments. And so
Right.
this is really called the transmittal stage, and then if they approve everything, it comes back to you again for your second reading, which is the adoption stage.
So passing it and
So if
sending
your
it to the
motion can
state.
include passing it on first reading and transmitting it to the state.
Passing on first reading and transmitting it to state.
Okay, got a motion and a second?
Didn't he make a motion, he's redoing it?
Yeah.
You just
We already
redoing
did.
it? Okay, well, then I'll second it.
Motion and a second, in discussion? Hearing none, Mayor call the roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Neal?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Capper?
Yes.
Mayor Adams?
Yes. Next, the first reading of ordinance 17-05.
Ordinance number 17-05, an ordinance of the Town Commission of the Town of Reading Shores, Florida pertaining to medical marijuana, providing findings of fact, banning medical marijuana treatment center dispensing facilities within the corporate limits of the Town of Reading Shores, Florida, banning all other medical marijuana treatment centers within the corporate limits of the Town of Reading Shores, Florida, sunsetting Reading Shores ordinance number 16-02, which enacted a moratorium pertaining to medical marijuana treatment centers in the Town of Reading Shores, Florida, providing for the inclusion of such ordinance in the code of the Town of Reading Shores, Florida, providing for severability, providing for an effective date. And this ordinance, as you previously discussed, and as you know, amendment was passed pertaining to medical marijuana. It said that the legislature and the Florida Department of Health were to come up with laws and regulations pertaining to that. The legislature took a long time to do it, finally got around to doing it in their extended special session. And since we had no regulations on the books, as many other municipalities in the state, we enacted a moratorium on the processing anything. When the legislation came out, it authorized municipalities to, in effect, say no or to ban medical marijuana treatment centers within their limits. And if you, so you have the option either to ban them or to allow them. If you allow them, you don't have a lot of control on them as far as distance and sighting requirements. So this ordinance would say that, and as you see in the findings of fact, says that there's plenty other places in the close proximity in the county, and the county is heavily populated, and 24 municipalities and people that are in need of medical marijuana treatment centers can basically find them within a short distance, and therefore there's no real need for them in Reddington Shores.
Okay, I'll make a, you need a motion?
If you all.
Okay, I'll make a motion for the,
To adopt it on
to adopt
first reading.
the first reading of 1705, banning medical marijuana treatment center dispensary facilities within Reddington Shores.
Second.
Motion and a second, in discussion? Hearing none, Mayor call the roll.
Excuse me, Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Neal?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Capper?
Yes.
Mayor Adams?
Yes. This time I'd like to close the public hearing. And next is ratified change order for sewer relining project and storm water pipe repair. Commissioner Neal.
I make a motion to ratify the change order of $64 to Miller Pipeline. And by the way, they did get 3 bids on this. So that was actually the cheaper of the 3. This is for 174th Terrace and 2nd Street, digging up the road to move the conduit pipes out of the way so we can line the sewer line.
You making a motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second, in discussion? Hearing none, Mary call the roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Neal?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Capper?
Yes.
Mayor Adams?
Yes. On the new business, appeal to the commission special magistrate decision 18-219 Gulf Boulevard fence height. Y'all want to talk?
We do.
Okay. Remember, state your name and address and all that.
Karen can start.
Okay. We came prepared
Need your name and address.
Okay. All right, I'm Karen Chanley, and this is my husband, David Draper. We are homeowners at 18219 Gulf Boulevard in Reddington Shores. And as you know, we're here today to appeal the decision of the special magistrate meeting that resulted in the denial of an 8-foot fence we requested to build between our property located at 18219 Gulf Boulevard and the property next door located at 18217 Gulf Boulevard. We don't believe that the magistrate, or probably anybody here today, understands the severity of the nuisance we're dealing with. So our plan tonight is to change that for you. So that said, please watch and listen to this short video. It was captured and provided to us by Gary and Debbie Ridnour, who reside on the other side of the problem neighbor. The incident you're about to see and hear happened just this past Friday, August 4th, at around 11:30 p.m. We're sorry that we even have to come here and show you this, but we finally have video proof.
The appeal, and I understand, I think, what you're about to do, but your appeal is as to the decision of the special magistrate based upon the testimony that he heard and took from, I wasn't there, but I assume you all and any other surrounding neighbors, and then Mr. Trask entered his opinion, and I did read that, where he granted part of your request, I believe, and denied part of your request. And under the town's ordinances, your appeal, even though it's termed an appeal, but it's by kind of certiorari standards, which means you're appealing the record that comes before the commission. So it's really improper for them to consider new testimony or evidence.
This is really,
In theory, all that was heard and decided.
Okay,
Well,
but this happened since,
I understand
and
what you're-
I think this will bring to light exactly why we were there. And if we had had this that day, it may have changed things. And that's why we're bringing it tonight, because,
Well, I don't have any objections, certainly, to you playing that or showing the commission if the commission wishes to see it, but I'm just saying, I think it would
Okay.
be improper for them to base a decision one way or
Okay.
the other upon something that you present now that's in effect kind of like new evidence.
well, it is. This just happened Friday night. And this shows, like, big time what goes on at that house.
Okay.
And it's more,
I understand your problem, I understand your situation. We've talked about it before, but I'm
Yes.
just saying, I think it's up to the commission. How
Okay.
long is that?
it's just a couple, it's like 2 minutes.
I think-
The whole thing is longer, but the important part of it is like the first 2 minutes of it.
Well, as I say, I certainly have no objections. If the
Okay.
commission wishes to listen to it, it's up to the commission, it's not up to me. But I would have to advise the commission that when they're considering an appeal, their job is to determine whether they believe the special magistrate followed the criteria for granting or denying the variance.
I understand.
It's up to you.
I feel like we should see it, knowing the history of this place. What do you think, Commissioner Neal?
I don't even want to see it, I'm ready to vote on it.
Okay. Mr. Karen?
I'd like to see it.
And Commissioner Henderson?
You know me, I'm the book girl. I kind of am agreeing with Jim that we're
Well,
doing,
The book he just opened up, you know.
I know, it's
to me.
worms, it's a worm book. No, I mean, when we're doing this, it's about what our special magistrate decided, not new evidence. That's just my feeling.
Okay.
So, I'm outvoted, doesn't matter.
Victor, go ahead and put it on.
Okay. We called in and we weren't able, we were told we were not able to connect to the audiovisual here.
Oh.
So we brought our laptop and unfortunately I'll have to approach the bench and we'll look at it that way. Is that all right?
Sure.
Do you have that somewhere in some kind of digital file? Because it's not going to, I mean, is it a picture or is it just sound?
No, it's a video
It's a video.
with sound, but
Okay.
you'll get the picture on
It's
here.
not going to be in the record.
Yeah,
Here for the
that
town.
is a problem there.
There, literally, it's in the cloud. The URL to the video could be put on record. It's,
The audio may be in the record, but the video is probably not going to be. So it's up to you. But the
that's
commission
fine.
indicated they want to go ahead and,
I
Listen to it,
realize
so-
that the commission cannot make their decision based on this, but I think it would be helpful for long-term if the commission were to see this. I do. If it doesn't go into the record, that's life.
We have no other choice, we're just,
indicated they wish to go ahead and hear it, so I suggest you.
there's a video, and you can see it, and you can hear it, and it's pretty blatantly obvious what's going on. So if we can just bring it up there and you can see it.
Yeah, because it's not a large screen, if I could,
I think if you stand in front, we all can see it.
okay.
Don't look.
Okay. It starts, like, the beginning of it starts right away.
It happens, this is from the neighbor's video camera.
Okay, you're gonna move over so that,
I have full screen here.
okay.
So I see the town's camera is picking up your
Oh, is it? Okay.
screen, so
Looks like an ultrasound.
maybe
Looks like an ultrasound.
Hey, Victor, can you zoom in on that?
The heartbeat's good.
There you go.
Can you-
There you go.
All right,
Oh, yeah,
now,
that's
the first 2 seconds are paramount to this whole thing.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but,
Go ahead, go.
hang on.
Yeah, there's lots of it.
We can't have profane.
Give me 2 seconds while I pick up the networking.
Sure you can.
We hear it every day, so,
We're all friends here.
yeah.
I don't, I better close my ears.
Those are,
Jim's like, water. Please don't gas me.
can you do it or not?
He's been in court, remember?
I know, but we're broadcasting from
There we go.
I guess we're gonna pretend not to see.
The guy whose video it is sent it to me a couple of days ago, but I haven't looked at it. I opened
If not, I brought my iPad, which is play. Just keep watching, it gets better.
Our house is on the other side of the video.
Just wait 1 minute, it picks up again in about 10 seconds.
This is from the side view.
I think we've seen enough.
Okay, Gary.
Uh,
That's a regular occurrence.
I think, I don't know a lot of people here, but I think, Chief, how many calls have you had to that resident?
Over 100
Since when?
in the last 5 years. That's more than any other residents in the entire town.
Can't we declare that a nuisance area or a nuisance home?
We've tried that.
Now, we have a little prepared
Yeah, to-
statement, if you'd like to hear it, to back that up, if we may.
To Attorney Denhart's earlier statement, I can address the magistrate's rulings, I think.
I mean, that's really supposed to be the
Right.
purpose of this
So-
appeal, so if you
Right.
can advise the commission why you think the magistrate misinterpreted the facts, why you think the magistrate's rulings as to the points of law were incorrect, and anything like that.
Can we do that now?
Yes.
One at a time.
Yeah.
Okay, so this, unfortunately, I didn't understand the exact rules of order, so this won't be specific to everything that the magistrate has ruled on, but it does cover it. It's, so if you would, just allow me to speak through this. So what you saw is not an isolated incident. This happens all the time. Just ask the police to respond to the hundreds of calls to that address. Officer Janik, one of the many responding officers whom are all openly disgusted with our neighbor, asked me last Friday what I was doing to stop these incidents. He asked me if we've gotten the city involved. I told him we have. These gatherings, we will get to the magistrate part, these gatherings, big or small, but always noisy, will keep occurring. 2 of the daughters are repeat criminal offenders. 1 is in jail, while the oldest, who hosted this last shindig, has been out of jail for a handful of months. As a side note, she'll probably be back in jail as she and an accomplice recently stole from the 7-Eleven up the street and is now awaiting court again. On Monday, she was back drinking beer in the backyard with her friends at noon. Okay, I'll skip over some of this stuff. It doesn't get the magistrate. The magistrate allowed us only a 4-foot fence to the seawall. I explained there was an 18-inch curb running along the fence, which means the fence is effectively only 2.5 feet high on the neighbor's side. Considering the violence and vicious dog on their property, this is woefully inadequate. The magistrate's ruling was paramount to asking us to leave the town. At 4 feet, the ruling offers no safety, security, or buffering from this outrageously dangerous neighbor. We started this process with the city while trying to protect ourselves many months ago. We wanted the town to deem our neighbors a public nuisance. We were advised by the town's attorney that the town can't help us as our neighbors are considered a private nuisance, even after hundreds of police visits. We were advised we needed to fight the issue privately. So in preparation for a private confrontation and the retaliation that could arise from future actions, we decided to first erect a safety fence. This brings us to the special magistrate's hearing where our request was denied. In the magistrate's finding, fact number 15, he clearly states that granting this variance will not be in harmony with the general intent of Part 5 of the Code and will be injurious to the area involved and detrimental to the public welfare. He had to be kidding. Injurious to the area involved, detrimental to the public welfare? What about our welfare and security? Ask yourselves, is our welfare less important than a fence no one will see? Of 180-plus letters that went out to notify our immediate neighbors of our 8-foot variance request, 0 people came to oppose it. The fence is between our 2 houses and not visible to the public at large. How can this be detrimental to the public welfare? With our security on the line, this just makes no sense to us. Further to our frustration, the magistrate said we can't have an 8-foot fence because of a public nonconformance, thereby indicating that the public is involved, at least from the perspective of us trying to protect ourselves. But the public won't get involved in trying to remove the nuisance. We pull the short end of the straw on both counts. We can't protect ourselves or remove the danger. So, is this nuisance and threat a public or private issue? The town has stated it's private, so let us handle it at our cost with a fence appropriate and proportionate to the threat we face. If we can't protect ourselves with a fence due to public nonconformance concerns, then we need a viable public solution. There are variances for a reason. It's because the ordinances are not cast in stone. When extreme hardships are experienced and common sense and compassion dictate, variances provide a solution. Without a solution, what should we do? What should we do next? Ask yourselves, you live in the town, what would you do? We can no longer live with this horrendous situation beside us without a physical barrier. Prior to the magistrate's hearing, there was talk of granting us a 6-foot fence from the front all the way to the seawall. We didn't even get that. I'm going to skip this next section. We clearly need an 8-foot fence. What is the difference between 6 feet versus 8 feet? Seriously, what is the difference? It will stand up to windstorms, and nobody will see it except for us and the nuisance neighbor. We don't understand what public welfare is getting harmed here. For us, it's the difference between hoodlums jumping the fence or not, and our peace of mind knowing we're safer because of it. Further to the magistrate's ruling, Section 12 states that the variance will confer a special privilege to us that is normally denied because there are no other properties that have a 6-foot fence in the backyard. We are not looking for a special privilege. Having protection is not a privilege. It should be our right. This is a cry for help, not a privilege. If the commission is worried that we are setting too much of a precedent, that ship has sailed. Our neighbors have already set the precedent, and we're just asking for reasonable protection from it. I doubt there's any other house with a neighbor hardship close to what we endure, except obviously for our neighbor on the other side. The police can verify. We have effectively been told that our safety is not as important as the public harmony as enforced by the ordinances. Personally, I believe the safety of residents should be of a much, much higher priority than ordinances that were not written to deal with this type of nuisance. In summary, we're not looking for privilege. We're asking for safety and a right to enjoy our property as any resident would. We don't believe our ask is detrimental to the public welfare, but we do believe it's imperative to our personal welfare. And as you consider this appeal, as residents that love your town, please consider our hardship that has brought us here today and what it would be like if it were you standing here at the podium. Thank you.
And I also have a short statement from Sam Bond, who's the neighbor on the other side of us, who was actually involved in the situation that we just played. He came home in the middle of it. If I could read that, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
He wrote it and signed it.
Sam had to
and-
scare a person off his property, then go inside.
and get a hammer to protect himself. He came home to a bloody male hiding behind his bushes in the middle of all of this, and went home and got a hammer.
Yeah, so just read the letter and then we're
May I
done.
read this?
Sure.
It's up to the commission. It's-
Yeah.
Okay, I
It's
just-
technically what's called hearsay, it's not really
Right.
admissible. It's up to the
Okay.
commission.
It's written as him, it's written and
Yes,
signed,
it's-
it's written and signed by the neighbor.
Okay, I am writing this letter to encourage the town to take whatever action you can to stop the dangerous and disturbing activities that are going on at the home of Jeff and Kelly Sipos. I live 2 houses away from their property and have heard and witnessed events which have made me feel that I must have to defend my home and my property from trespassing and damage. These activities have gone beyond periodic disturbing the peace and privacy issues to become frightening and violent behavior events. Please take whatever action you can to prevent this situation from turning into a tragedy. Thank you, Sam Bond, 18301 Gulf Boulevard, Reddington Shores Park.
All right. I'm going to ask the commission for a motion.
I got a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Did you say there was an 18-inch high wall all the way down the side of your property?
Yes.
Okay.
It's on their side.
It's just like a decorative little wall which renders.
Is it on your property at all?
No, we can't
So they can
remove
stand
it.
on that wall and get over the fence?
Yes, it renders our fence currently at 4 feet to be effectively 2.5 feet. And we have a pit bull next door that charges our fence and stands in this and scares us and causes anxiety every time we go outside.
Yeah, we didn't get into a lot of that stuff.
I skipped over it. This
There's
is,
a lot of stuff that's not in there.
I think a 6-foot high fence would not hurt nothing. I mean, they definitely have a hardship. There's no question about
And
that.
they're asking for an 8-foot.
yeah. For us, the 6 foot creates privacy. It doesn't create security because with that 18-inch curb on the other side, it brings it down to a 5.5 foot fence. I can hop over that in an instant.
If it wasn't for the code book, I'd let you put 2 foot of razor wire on top of it.
I would go for that.
Well, you yourself said between 6 and 8 doesn't even matter.
No, what I'm saying when I said that is what is the difference? Why not give us 8 when there's really no
I was kind
significant?
of hoping you could build on top of the wall. I mean, that's the way I was looking at it. So
Well,
it depends on where you measure it from. If you measure it from the top of the seawall, it's only 6 foot.
you know, we would accept anything would be better than what we have. I know that these kids are drunk a lot, they're high a lot. People, I'm not worried about premeditated people, because premeditated people will get over anything if they really want to. But it's the spur of the moment thing that concerns me. They drink and get high back there every other day. And, you know, if Karen's home alone or we're not home, they will steal anything at a moment's notice. And if it's difficult to go over, it just makes it much more of a barrier for them.
There were about 20 to 25 people at this little gathering,
All right.
and they scattered everywhere.
Well, just, as I recall, the magistrate granted you a variance for some portion of the fence, correct?
He gave
Shadow
us,
box.
he basically gave us what the ordinance allows. He said that we could have 6 feet from the front of the house to the 15-foot setback, and then we would have 4 feet, which is nothing higher, and nothing higher than what we have.
Only variance he
What about just 6 feet all the way
allowed on
back?
that
Would that not make you
was
happy?
open at 45%.
Well, my point is, if we can have 6, why not 8? Because,
Well, I can tell you from personal experience, I live on the beach, and we have gobs of drunk,
But not this.
beyond drunk, I mean, high as a kite, all these people, and we have a fence that's not even 6 feet tall, and they have tried to scale it. We have dozens of video cameras. They can't make it, and it's only 5-something
but
feet.
see, ours is only 5.5. If we go 6 feet, they have an 18-inch curb on the other side, which renders it 1.5 foot lower. Because I took a picture of it, it's in here. They get to stand 1.5 feet high before they try to scale the fence.
If you if you got a 6-foot fence approved and say the 6-foot fence was measured from the top of that seawall,
If you wanted to
that's
do
giving you 7 foot on the top of the fence.
Well,
You just gotta keep them to where they have to jump 6 feet to get over.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the 8-foot fence that he's requesting.
Thank you.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing
Go ahead.
hearing none, Mary call the roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
No.
Commissioner Neal?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Capper?
Yes.
Mayor Adams?
Yes.
Well, I'm really happy for you, but it's just, that looks
Oh, my God!
This has been a rough ride. Thank you, people.
Yeah, they've been pulling me out of jail.
Don't be mad at us.
Oh, I'm not mad at all. I just couldn't overturn the special magistrate.
day. That's like, oh my God, what just happened here?
All right, Karen,
I love everyone.
have a seat.
At this moment, everyone loves me.
Have a seat, or I'll have the chief carry you out here in handcuffs.
And next is Resolution 08-17, adopting Pinellas County Local Mediation Strategy. Attorney Denhart.
Resolution number 08-17, a resolution of the town of Reading Shores, Florida, recommending adoption of the Pinellas County Local Mitigation Strategy by the Reading and Shores Board of Commissioners, making this local mitigation strategy function as the town of Reading Shores floodplain management plan and providing for an effective date.
Make a motion to approve Resolution 08-17.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, Mary call the roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Neal?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Capper?
Yes.
Mayor Adams?
Yes. Next, Resolution 09-17, adopting Town of Redington Shores Floodplain Management Plan.
Resolution number 09-17, a resolution of the Town Commission of the Town of Reading Shores, Florida, pertaining floodplain management, accepting the recommendation of the town's floodplain management committee as to the adoption of a revised floodplain management plan for the town of Readington Shores, adopting such a floodplain management plan for the town of Readington Shores, providing an effective date.
Like to make a motion that we approve 09-17, adopting Town of Redding Shores floodplain management plan.
Motion and a second, any discussion?
I don't remember the floodplain management committee adopting anything recently for any meetings or anything. Is there anything behind that? I'm asking.
Can I speak on that? Because I'm part of that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If you come,
Oh, sorry.
Tim DuBois, 182nd Avenue. In regard to that, I believe it has to be approved once annually by the commissioners of the town. So I believe they review the whole document on an annual basis, and then the
Have you guys
commission
had
has
a
to
meeting?
approve it. It was a month ago or so, month and a half ago, I don't
For a
remember.
floodplain management meeting?
Yes. So,
I don't recall.
the PPI meeting.
PPI is not floodplain management.
So is
PPI
there a separate, is this
complete
complete?
separate. Yeah,
Okay,
that's what I'm
then,
asking.
then I misspoke.
No,
I
no,
apologize, I'll
that's
sit
just-
down.
no, That's just the public information, get the word out kind of thing. I'm just asking the
Yes.
floodplain management
Sorry.
meeting when WIT met.
I'll withdraw.
No, that's okay. I'm just asking.
So are we ahead of this, or should we have a meeting before this can be approved?
Mayor, you know, I mean, I don't know, I'm asking you.
Well, the PPI is part of the floodplain management program.
But they're not the committee.
All the committee is the same as the PPI committee, so we're,
Is that true, Jim? Is it floodplain management?
I don't know. I
That
assume-
subcommittee was just formed when we.
Yeah, we've always had a
My
floodplain
assumption
management
was the
committee.
committee had met and made the recommendation, that's why I was here. I would suggest that maybe it just be tabled until the next meeting, and clarify for sure that the committee has met, or will meet between now and then and make the recommendation.
But if we can just make sure we all understand, the PPI is not the floodplain management committee.
Right.
We've
Okay.
always had a
Right.
floodplain management committee. The PPI was created many years after that. So,
okay, it's tabled.
So you need to make a motion. You need to make a motion on that to table it?
Do we need a motion? to
Yeah.
table? Yes.
I'd like to table that. I retract my motion.
Now you're making a motion to do that.
Make a new motion that we will table that.
I'll second that one.
Motion,
Until the next regular.
Right.
motion and a second, and discussion. Hearing none, Mary, call the roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Neal?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Capper?
Yes.
Mayor Adams?
Yes. Public comments, I would like to make one public comment for anybody else regarding you two. I know what you've gone through, believe me. And you know I met with you, know what most of it is. I would have a suggestion, and I don't know what, but look at planting shrubbery down through there.
I didn't hear that.
Look at planting shrubbery.
Yes.
Okay?
Sharp, thorny stuff. You can give you a list.
Bougainvillea
We have some.
works real good.
Like glass trees.
All right, before I close, the attorney has advised me that not to close. He has a couple of things.
That really was an ultrasound, you're having a girl.
One's enough. I think I've served as your attorney for 37 or 38 years, and I intend to continue if you'll continue to have me. But Lauren has been with me for 3.5 years as an attorney, and 1.5 years before that as a law clerk while she was in law school. She's done an excellent job. At this point, I would not be hesitant for anything that comes in the office, whether it's a municipal client or a private client, to say, here, Lauren, take over, it's yours. And I've done that plenty of times. And I just want to let you know that she has become a partner in my office, and I'm very happy to have her. And the second thing is that both Lauren and I attended the Florida Municipal Attorneys Association annual 3-day seminar a couple of weeks ago. It's a 3-day seminar that's held every summer. I think I've gone every year for the past 29 years or so, and Lauren's attended, I think this is your 4th year. And it's always extremely good and extremely educational, and topics covered were such as the Small Cell Act that we discussed tonight, medical marijuana that we discussed tonight, all sorts of issues that are hot topics, and we both attended that and enjoyed that, and came away a little bit smarter. Even though you come away smarter, you always realize how much you don't know when you go to those things, but we had a good time doing it. That's it.
And if I may, just add one more comment to that. At the Florida Municipal Attorneys Association Conference, Mr. Denhart was elected as president of the Florida Municipal Attorneys Association.
Well, I would like to say thank you to you both for Jim for your 30 whatever, 37 years.
37 or 8.
Thank you a lot. Lauren, welcome. Thank you.
Reddington Shores is truly blessed.
Yeah, they really are.
So that means you're older than 38.
Well, like I say, between 38 years here and 17 at Treasure Island and 14 at Pinellas Park, that's more years than I'm old. That's older than I am when you stack them all together. But
All right, with that, the next workshop.
Oh, wait, we had a couple comments.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can I speak?
Yes, certainly.
Actually, this is something, Tim DuBois, 636 182nd Avenue. I wanted to speak about the sewer increase, the proposed sewer increase, and I guess I had a question. I think I get 3 minutes, but I want to know if I ask a question to the attorney, if that cuts into my 3 minutes?
you're supposed to get 3 minutes to address the commission, so it's up to the commission what time you're allowed.
Okay.
You got 3 minutes to address it.
Okay.
I'm kind of confused on.
Well, I had a question before I started my comments.
They say you have 1 minute, so you better talk quick.
It's dead now, so.
Okay. I guess based on some of the information that I received, and I guess I went to the May 28th workshop in regard to the proposed sewer rates, I guess what I would like to see as a citizen is if they're going to repair the sewer lines, I think it would be very beneficial to kind of come up with what is the total scope of work that the commission is looking at to complete in Reddington Shores, come up with a plan, a timeline, a cost estimate, so we know, okay, what is the total effort involved in repairing the sewer line, and what is the cost estimate they're looking at? And I haven't heard that or seen anything regard to that. I know there's particular projects that are being looked at, but there doesn't seem to be a comprehensive plan for this. In that regard, there was also discussion about the financing behind it and whether the sewer system was making or losing money. And I think that we have a very competent finance committee here, and it would be beneficial for the committee to be involved in looking at all the finances involved and helping make a recommendation for the commission to follow, because I've seen the finance committee in action and I think they're very competent. And there's also the $2.2 million sewer fund that is part of what, should be looked at in relation to any proposed rate hike, and, how should that be used and how can it be used, rather than kind of the knee-jerk reaction to what's happening in St. Pete. The third thing I'd like to bring up is the fact that it appears that the current sewer costs, which are based on fixtures, seems to be antiquated, and it may not be accurate based on the records that are held by the town or the county as far as how many fixtures are in each residence. And I think it would be more accurate to link it to the usage. And with that issue and the fact that the city is probably, I think on average, 74% of more sewer is being charged than water usage, which means that there's problems, and I know they have the project underway to line the sewer lines, but I think if we address these issues about the charges and the amount of sewer that's going through the lines first, and then kind of figure out, okay, what is our real issue, what is our real cost, and then address a possible sewer increase. Lastly, with the 2017 increases in Pinellas County real estate assessed values and a potential increase in sewer rates together, this may present an additional burden to some of the town's residents that are on fixed income and possibly retired individuals. So I'd like you to consider those things going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Hearing none, the next workshop meeting is Wednesday, August 30th, 2017 at 6 p.m. Regular meeting Wednesday, September 13th, 2017 at 6 p.m. With that, this meeting is adjourned.